Today we're going to be talking about my coming out story. I knew I was gay ever since I was 7 or 8. Well, at least I knew I liked girls. I wasn't sure if I was just strictly vagina. So when I was 12 years old, I told my mom that I was bisexual, which is what I thought I was at the time. She said it was disgusting. Then I thought I couldn't get any worse than that. Then she told my dad. I was so scared because he was the biggest homophobe I knew, and I didn't think he would take it well. So when he confronted me about it, I told him that my mom made everything up, and she was a liar. Now I don't live with my mom anymore, I just live with my dad, and I haven't seen my mom in a while, so I haven't actually came out to her yet. So I did come out to my dad though last year in the summertime, but before I came out to him, I came out to my brother, who's 25, and he was like totally cool with it, like I thought he would be. Like, I wasn't really scared to tell him that because we're really close, and so I was just like terrified to tell my dad because he's a known homophobe. Like, I used to ask him, what's your view on the gays? And he would always say, as long as they're away from me, I'm fine with it. But he would always use, like, gay as a synonym for stupid, like, and call people faggots. And it just would tick me off. And so I was always afraid that if I came out to him, he would have a negative reaction and probably kick me out. So anyway, I sat him down with my brother because I wanted my brother there for support in case something went wrong. And I said, Dad, I have to tell you something. And it took me a while to say it. I was speaking very slowly and like my words were shaky. And he's like, yeah? And like, he probably thought I was gonna tell him that I was pregnant or something. That's probably what he thought I was gonna say. But no, I said, Dad, I like girls. And he took a minute, took a beat, and he said, okay. And he wasn't mad, he wasn't upset, everything went fine. And that really made me happy. So I just wanted to say, you're not always going to get the reaction that you expect to get. Like, my dad accepting it, huge shocker for me, but he did. So if any of you are going to come out, I wish you guys good luck. And remember that it does get better.
Hey everybody, I'm Simke, and this is my coming out story. I first came out to myself in 8th grade when I realized I can't run from myself anymore. That's one thing that I do give, like, that's one advice that I do give to any single person who thinks or is questioning their sexuality. One thing that I always say is you can't hide from yourself, so don't try to run from yourself because eventually it is going to come back. But yeah, in elementary school and even in middle school until like I said, until 8th grade, I ran for myself. I always said, this can't be me. I'm straight, that's it, I'm straight. And I ended up, like, after running for myself for so long, I realized I couldn't do that anymore. And I came out as bisexual and straight. And I came out to one of my friends, and it was it was a really, like, amazing thing that she accepted me for who I was. And she was like, that's not going to change the way I feel about you. You're an amazing girl, and you're a great friend, and I'm not going to change the way I think about you just because of one little thing. So I really appreciated her for that. So I started coming out to more friends in 9th grade, and I also came out to my family in 10th grade. My friends, all of them were really accepting. All of them loved me for who I was and who I am. They still love me for who I am. And my parents, that they didn't accept the idea for the fact that we have a Catholic background. I'm Catholic, my family is Catholic, and they weren't really like the most accepting of the idea, but they loved me for who I am. that, and so coming out is always just the hardest part. That coming out is hard, but living it isn't that hard, and it gets better.
I remember, I think I was maybe 6, I was between 6 or 8 years old. I had a little composition folder, it was yellow actually. It was like a little composition folder. And in the journal, like, I was just describing who this guy I liked. Not to mention I was between 6 or 8 years old. So, I remember I was just writing all my feelings down about this guy and everything. I didn't know anything about, being gay. I didn't know anything about like the whole, like, all of this. I didn't know anything about it. I just knew I liked him, and that's what it was. So I remember one day my mama came and got me from the Boys and Girls Club, and so she read it, and it was just crazy. My life has not been the same ever since. Well, yes, it is now. Like, I'm used to the whole weird thing, but anyway, I remember in the journal I was saying how much I liked the guy. I wanted to kiss him, and like everything. It was just crazy. So she read it, and she was just, "What do you know about this? This is not." And so I was scared. Yes, I was very, very much so afraid. The one thing that I'm so happy about is that my mama actually read it for herself. That even though I didn't tell her, she saw it from me, and she didn't have to hear about this from someone else. That's one thing that I'm so grateful for.
It's not that fantastically amazing. I don't have any amazing story of coming out in a giant crowd of rainbows and announcing to the world that I'm gay. To the general public, I came out on Facebook because that's how word gets around nowadays. And I said, the clothes are for closets, and that's why I'm coming out, or something like that. And it took people a minute before they realized it. And still to this day, this was about a year ago, some people still haven't caught on. And not much has changed, really. You could say that I'm just a hit more fabulous than I was back then. But other than that, my life's just gone on. I haven't had any dramatic beatings up, which I'm lucky for, but... And for people that are having a difficult time with whatever have you, it does get better.
I came out to my mother on October 12th of 2011, and how I did that was, I was gonna write like a long letter, but I was like, I don't have time for that, so I wrote like a short, sweet paragraph saying, "Thank you for raising me, you've been such a great mom," and I told her I was gay in it, and I was gonna give it to her on October 11th, but I was like so nervous, so I gave it to her on October 12th, and she read it, and she supported me because, like, I think most mothers know, I think it's just like a thing, like, mothers know. And she was very supportive of me. She told me she still loved me, nothing changed between us, and I was happy with that. And my dad actually found out because he got on my Facebook, and I was part of like some LGBT community group, and that kind of gave it away. And I was like messaging, boys, so yeah. I think he was disappointed at first, but then the next time he told me he loved me and stuff, and that he wasn't, and it's been pretty good for me. It gets better.
Here's my coming out story. When I was about, I guess, I want to say, in the 8th, 9th grade, I came to terms with myself. I was not straight, so to speak. I was gay. And, coming to terms with that's a big deal. And, I came to terms with myself, and while I was a freshman, I pretty much came to terms with it. I started telling people that I was gay. Well, around that same time, I was watching a ton of gay television, like Logo, and a bunch of other stuff. And I was watching a ton of gay TV. yeah, I'm gay. And the look on her face was that of, oh my god, you just told the truth. I'm glad that she understood me. I'm glad that, she loves me for who I am. She can give a rat's ass about who I like. And I'm now a senior in high school, getting ready to go to college. I'm from a very liberal state, and I'm in the truth state. Me being openly gay is a big deal, not only to me, but to pretty much the entire LGBT community, because that shows that I'm strong, and like my mom, I can give a rat's ass about what you think about me. And I love everything about who I am, and if you're going through a rough patch right now, just note that it's temporary, and it really does. So I know what you're thinking. What is coming out have anything to do with it getting better? Well, for a lot of people, coming out was for those others, it really wasn't. By this I mean, a lot of people don't have the best reaction of it coming out, of them coming out, and we're just they got accepted, or completely accepted, but we're still loved. We actually have a yard since for who we are. And another thing, he tells the apprentice, you'll know when to use this, and when that apprentice is in this predicament where he knows he can't win, he uses that power. It's kind of like that in a sense. You just want to know it in your heart. Like Christian said, he wanted to give his letter to his mother on the 11th, but it ended up he having to give to her on the 10th because he was just so anxious. He just knew the 10th felt right. He's still playing for the 11th. It's kind of like that. You can't really plan it. When it happens, and you know when it happens. It's going to happen right then and there. You're going to feel it in your heart when it's going to happen, and you're going to act upon it. Like with me, my mom asked me, I had a feeling that day I was going to come out. Whether I liked it or not, I just knew I was going to come out that day. And I know I'm kind of being comical right now, on a serious note, but my last and final words is that, it does get better. It really does get better. And coming out is the first step of it getting better. And I'm just going to leave you with 3 words, 3 strong, powerful words that's got us through decades. It gets better.
You're not a victim, but neither am I.